This is the opening from a movie called Who, starring Elliot Gould. It's also the first print I ever bought. I recently bought a new lens for my projector. That's why the picture falls off onto my blinds and such. Let's start this movie out with a bang. Some of the first films ever made were on 16mm. However, as time progressed, 16 as an exhibition format has disappeared. It's rare to find a theater with a 16 setup. 16 has become a collector's format, with film enthusiasts collecting for many reasons. I started collecting after watching Quentin Tarantino's collection at QT Fest. The films were so far out there and bizarre.
I want to put my pants on, I'll have to meet my mom!
I loved them. I wanted more of them. I wanted to know where I could find them.
Part of my reason for doing this is, at a certain point when you're a cinema lover and you've seen a lot of films, you kind of act, at a certain point, you start feeling maybe you've seen it all. Now, you haven't seen it all, but you feel you have at least a working knowledge of it all. Okay, have I seen all of Bergman? No. But, I get it. One of the things about having a print collection is there's all these things that are available, either on 16 or 35mm, that really they're almost like the alternative history of Hollywood. They had their day when they were released, and they were given all the oompah on the day they were released. But then, they're not on DVD now, they're not on video now, and for whatever reason, the syndication, they weren't in part of syndication packages or anything, so they weren't constantly reinforced by TV. Start collecting 16, maybe you can find some of them.
So if collecting prints could let me find movies as out there as The Legend of Wolfwoman, then I'm in. So I started out with Who, a spy thriller about the identity of a half-man, half-robot. It's not great, but I enjoy it because it's my print. Still, there are collectors who collect for other reasons.
If you look at this movie or this film behind me, you'll see that it has splices, that it has dirt, that it emulsion scratches. You've got lines sort of appearing and disappearing. It's not a pristine copy by any means. At the same time, it has character, it has personality, and it's sort of, with every, who knows how many hands this print changed over the years. It has a magical quality, it has an imperfect quality, and an organic quality that you don't see, you don't see with DVDs. DVDs are unnatural in the sense that literally you can watch a DVD a million times, before, the technology becomes obsolete and there's some other, higher definition format, but you can watch them a million times and they never grow old. They look the same every time. But you load up a film print, and with each showing, it starts. You get a little bit of age. It starts to, accrete more and more imperfections. And so every time you do watch a 16mm film, you should, and I think you should treat it as, something special, because it's never sort of going to look like that again.
Print collectors can never be the archivists that they strive to be. Their collections are always breaking down into vinegar and are becoming more and more unwatchable. As parts go bad, they splice what's left together, trying to keep what they have.
Film, even when it's dying, it's beautiful, it dies beautifully, and it has this amazing texture that's, even if you get sort of Eastman, Kodak, goddamn those people, because we love them to death, but they did print a lot of films on a lot of stock that does fade and turns an interesting shade of pink, but you have these sort of stages that a film print goes through, it'll start to lose sort of its highlights in the color, and it'll get to this point where the blues and the greens are the last to go. But even those prints, like, it's sort of fascinating to watch something, you know, bleed that way. Well, this is the thing about film prints. Once again, sort of in the heyday of 16 millimeter film, the prints were being made sort of continually, and like prints that were beat up or prints that, you know, were no longer serviceable were restruck. That's not happening anymore. Basically, you know, new films that come out, people aren't making a 35 millimeter print and then a 16 millimeter dupe like they used to with every 35 millimeter print. So those are the only ones left. You know, the ones that aren't destroyed are going to be, you know, people are going to watch them and they're going to, you know, degrade and they're going to look, you know. So, I mean, yeah, at a certain point, there aren't going to be any film prints left, you know. I mean, at a certain point, I mean, it's going to plateau, and then you're going to have these people, you know, the diehards who are really, you know, they're going to grab everything they can, and then eventually, you know, when people, I mean, when there's no longer anywhere that's striking, you know, 16 millimeter prints of anything, you know, I mean, they're gonna die just along with everything else. But you know, I think that's part of the appeal, I'm sure, you know.
It appeals to me. I want to find the hidden cinematic treasures before they're gone and will never be seen again. I guess that's it. I guess that's the end.